Gary Leon Ridgway was born on February 18, 1949, in Salt Lake City, Utah, United States. He was raised in a lower-middle-class household in a tense and emotionally unstable environment. His father, Thomas Ridgway, worked as a bus driver and often expressed disdain for prostitutes, whom he frequently saw during his routes. His mother, Mary, was controlling, domineering, and emotionally abusive. Gary later confessed to having confused feelings toward her, a disturbing mix of fear, hatred, and sexual attraction, due to her erratic behavior and emotional manipulation. As a child, Gary showed early warning signs of psychological disturbance. He struggled academically, had poor social skills, and was often described as slow and emotionally detached. At the age of 16, he committed his first known violent act by stabbing a 6-year-old boy who survived. Gary claimed he did it just to see how it felt to kill someone. Despite the severity, the incident did not lead to serious legal consequences, and Ridgway faded back into obscurity. After graduating high school with difficulty in 1969, Ridgway joined the U.S. Navy and was deployed to Vietnam. There, he frequently engaged with prostitutes and contracted sexually transmitted diseases, which further fueled his growing hatred toward sex workers. When he returned home, he got married, but the relationship soon ended in divorce, setting the stage for a deeply fractured emotional life. By the early 1980s, Gary Ridgway was working as a truck painter in Seattle, Washington. He was seen as a reliable and quiet employee. On the surface, Ridgway led a seemingly normal life. He attended church regularly, got married again, and even preached to sex workers about salvation. But behind the facade, he harbored dark and violent urges. Ridgway began killing in 1982, targeting primarily young women who were runaways or sex workers. He lured them into his vehicle with promises of money or rides, drove them to remote areas, and then strangled them with his hands or ligatures. He often returned to the dump sites to engage in necrophilia with the decomposing bodies. Many of the victims were left in wooded areas or dumped near rivers, especially the Green River, from which he earned his infamous nickname, the Green River Killer. The case became one of the largest and most expensive serial killer investigations in U.S. history. A dedicated task force was formed, and the FBI became involved. At one point in the mid-1980s, convicted serial killer Ted Bundy offered insights to investigators, helping to construct a psychological profile of the Green River Killer, predicting accurately that the killer would revisit crime scenes and engage in post-mortem acts. Gary Ridgway was questioned multiple times during the 1980s and 1990s, but passed a polygraph test and managed to avoid serious suspicion due to a lack of physical evidence. He lived quietly with his wife Judy in a suburb and maintained the image of a typical, hard-working American man. All the while, he continued to kill. It wasn't until 2001, thanks to advancements in DNA technology, that detectives finally linked Ridgway to 3 specific murders from the early 1980s. He was arrested on November 30, 2001, at his workplace in Auburn, Washington. In custody, Ridgway began confessing to murders in detail and showed little emotion as he recounted the horrific acts. He admitted to killing at least 71 women, though only 49 were officially confirmed at the time of sentencing. To avoid the death penalty, Ridgway accepted a plea bargain. In exchange for a life sentence without the possibility of parole, he would fully cooperate with authorities and help locate the remains of his victims. Over the following months, he led detectives to numerous crime scenes, confirming the depths of his crimes. Many bodies were never found, and investigators believe the true number of victims may exceed 90, making Ridgway the most prolific serial killer in U.S. history by confirmed victims. Today, Gary Ridgway is 76 years old and serving life in prison. without parole at the Washington State Penitentiary in Walla Walla. He is kept in isolation for his own safety and rarely interacts with other inmates. Ridgway remains a case study for criminal profilers, psychologists, and criminologists. A chilling example of how a seemingly ordinary man can hide unimaginable evil behind a mask of normalcy.